Okay, starting the YouTube recording. So this is basically the return of the Facebreaker build. We're going into part 7 from where we left off last time. The Facebreaker build at the end of the last act was feeling a lot better than it was in previous acts, so hopefully that keeps improving and doesn't get worse. I didn't take the time to check if I've got the right Warcry skill, so I'll have to sort that out later. But it was running well enough with this Warcry skill, so if it's the wrong Warcry skill, then that just means there's even more potential for damage later. I remember at one point there was a difference on which Warcry skills you were allowed to use, whether you were strike or hit, if memory serves. So I may have picked the wrong one in the last video. I haven't taken the time to fix it yet. I picked the wrong one. The fact that it's sitting at 8 is making me suspect I have picked the wrong one. In which case I'm leaving a lot of potential damage on the table. But I don't think I want that. We're level 53 soon, so we're still not in a rush to get more XP, I suppose. We're just trying to get through the content. Silver Locket. I think it's the other one that's worth the skill point. I think that was just respec points. I think I just picked up a respec point quest item. Now we're back at the crossroads. Much like in Act 2, there is a portal in the middle of the crossroads, or a transition place, quick travel place at the middle of the crossroads. And much like in Act 2, you do both sides before you do the proverbial straight. In fact, I believe the proverbial straight's actually blocked, so there's you have to use the go-around option. That's sort of new. Like the area in Act 2 is there in the current version of the map, but it's locked. And you don't traverse it in Act 2, whereas you get the key in this version. So grab the waypoint. And this is a 51 area. We did just level up, so we're still around about where we want to be. Not too high, not too low. I probably do want to grab hit points. So we got that power charge. Pick up that 18% damage, but we're not rushing to it. Yeah, I think it's hit points we're going to go for. Got hit points here. Enemies can't leech life for me, would actually be very tempting to go for next. Got HP all in here. We can come down here and get this HP down here as well. Yeah, I'm gonna get my HP that I need for later in the act. I don't need very much, but I think I need like a point or two of HP mods. I have the HP I want for the boss. And then we'll basically be back. Well, actually, thinking about it, I've got most of the damage that I can get from the tree, so we might be going heavier on the tank just because I don't have source for more damage easily in the tree. this is the way. Could be a portal coming up. Yes, there is. Into the crypt. In here, I believe there's a trial in here that we don't need to do because this is the second character I have in the server. If it's your first character, you would do the trial. I'm not going to do the mirror. Don't need to do the mirror. I don't think this is a particularly great map, or particularly great zone for the mirror anyway. So I think we're in the place where we can, or up at the minimal, we are going to start dropping five links. Can start dropping. I already got a 5 link for this character. Oh, that's the trial. We don't need to go in there. My map senses were so good at directing me to where I usually have to go, which I usually play one character server. So I went straight to the trial, but I only need to go through once. No. Let's see if I can find the coffin that goes down a floor. There we go, there it is. I was in the middle talking about something and I forgot about it. I would probably run the mirror on the SRS, even on maps that it's not necessarily great for. Because usually with the mirror, you're just trying to get it up to like the 3rd reward so that you can get the cluster jewel to drop, and then after that it gets significantly harder to level up. I think you have to go all the way up to 7, might be 6 to get a second cluster jewel, which is really hard to do unless it's a really good map. Feeling a lot better about the damage. Sage robe, probably don't need that. Probably already have one in my unique storage, so I'll just get invented. Pretty sure that's what I have in the unique storage. So we're taking the portal back to the bridge, not necessarily because we want to go back to town, but because it's quicker to portal out and take the waypoint back to the crossroads than to hang around and slow walk back. So I'd say this is walking through about 2 zones. I'm looking for what, 50 for the next bout of, or 55 or something for the next bout of stuff. $58 for the shield. 55 for the armor, so 55 I can put the armor on. And stop being the barbarian running around in a loincloth. So usually straight in is wrong, and it is. We need to get to the center of the room for our first sort of synthetic map experience. We've reached that point in the game where it's going to take us into our first map. Though it's a fixed map. Well, fixed in that you're always guaranteed to have the same style of map. I didn't pick up this crafting recipe before. Whoops. I think technically he's giving you the quest if you came there and talked to him to go to where we just were, on the other side of the crossroads. So by going there first, we've been able to skip having to go there. No, he was trolling me with that location, okay. We want to go this way. Memory serves, it's usually across 1 to 2 bridges, and then there's like the hidden boss base near on the island. Oh, he's physical resistant, that's why I'm not doing much damage. He may be physical resistant, but we're doing a lot better damage. This would have been even more comfortable with what we had back in Act 3. We'll probably level up before we get to the sort of mini-boss in here. The boss of this map, the proverbial boss of the map, which is Malagaro. There's the second bridge. So now on the right island, we're just gotta find, and there's the door. I'm gonna kill a little bit more so I can get the level before going in to see him. Okay, so now we can go ahead and pick this up. This goes plenty more hit points. I'll probably lay off the hit points for a moment and pick up all the shield stuff that I'm thinking about picking up after that, just to get some more damage. Well, get more tankiness, because most of it's going to translate into tankiness, I suppose. One thing I can do is I can drop glancing blows if I'm going that route. This fight's not very hard, and in fact, the sections where the minions come in, well, the sort of lesser minion boss phases, we're so fast on my SRS that they barely got to do anything. Which is just giving you an idea of what the damage difference between the SRS build and this build is at this point. Who would have guessed? Meme build is not necessarily meta. gives us the key. We need to go through the tunnels, down en route to what is actually the mini-boss of the act, which is one of the gods. When we defeat that god, we can go ahead and get another skill point if we go back to town. We're not going to go straight back to town after defeating the god, though. We're going to just keep going. So I don't think the skill point's going to necessarily make us any faster at clearing the rest of the act. Instead, I'm going to keep going until we have the waypoint right outside of sort of the last dungeon, the last waypoint of the zone, before going back. Which enemy's doing that? You're doing it. Oh, and you have fast shield recharge. I'm just gonna run away from you. That wasn't intentional, but that'll be fine. I accidentally show off how much the build's improved since Act 3. This would be... If I was still about as powerful as I felt like in Act 3, this would be horrible. Or what? No, Act 4. End of Act 4. If I was still as bad as I was in the end of Act 4, this would be horrible. This would be uncomfortable. Here, it's not that bad. That's where you go to the third reward, because then you get the jewel dropped. And the iron ring there isn't that bad. I'll probably have to roll it a few dozen times to get a good ring out of it, but I did need a ring to do that too, so for that purpose it's good. Because I'm pretty sure I have the essences to do that re-rolling, it's just I needed a ring to do it on. This is where we stick the key, and there's the door out. Yeah, 10% increased area damage. We're not going to take it into this build, but maybe other builds would use it. And yeah, this ring will have to get re-rolled. It's not what we want, but it's the base we want, so we'll hold on to it. I suppose I could check to see if that phasing flask is any good. No, that would need to be rolling before we use it. Okay, so if we exit this zone, this will put us on the plains where we started Act 2. Started Act 2 proper. And where we actually got to first use the Facebreaker. So we brought the Facebreaker back to where it began. Taking every wrong path, apparently. I'm right now only poking those because there's a chance they'll drop a divination card, and it's a good divination card. I haven't had time to go or the desire, frankly, to go do delving. The popcorner build's a little too squishy to comfortably delve. We'll see if this build is a replacement for that, I suppose. This one might actually be tanky enough to comfortably delve. So in this case, we're just gonna follow the road to our old friend now possessed by God. So I believe Groost has been possessed by Ralikesh or something, if memory serves. Oh, Groost has been possessed by someone, so we need to defeat Groost. But first to get him to come down, we have to defeat his hounds. We defeated one hound. Oh, he actually came down after beating the first one. So it was the second one, but he came down after beating the first. Yeah, this is not seeming that bad. This is another good sign we've got the armor in roughly the right, or the damage in roughly the right space for the moment. There still definitely are ways you could improve it. I still have a pretty bad rolled Facebreaker, so you can get a better Facebreaker. I am running a 4-link, and I'm not necessarily running a particularly damage-centric 4-link. I'm running more of a effects 4-link, right? Because I've got stun and impale still on it. Yeah, he's specifically Ralikesh. Okay.
Turn away the tyrant's face, and kingdom end without a trace. When you try.
So we want to swap to Ralikesh. His damage taken while moving. Moving while bleeding. That's always tempting, just because I never like to pay attention if I'm bleeding. But I'm going to stick to the lesser... Well, actually, no. I'd prefer the bleed over Ignite. Usually, Ignite intensity is based on how much damage you've already taken. So, frequently, if you've got a lethal Ignite on you, you're pretty dead anyway. So now we need to find the zone. What was the zone in Act 2 where you usually skip, unless you need it to your hideout, which you only have to do once. We now need to go down there for the fireflies, so we want to find that zone. Which, you notice I'm mostly moving around about by the map and not actually paying attention too much about moving around the monsters, because a lot of the monsters, if I hit them hard enough, will die. So I'm mostly paying attention to the map and my health. Going to be pretty similar in here. We're looking for the fireflies, which will show up as exclamation points through the map fog once we get close enough to them. I forget how many there is in here. I feel like there's 8 or something. There's a lot in here that we're going to pick up. And I believe this is a necessary quest to pick these guys up, so we will have to get all of them. Should probably take the time to, there's also a god in here to kill, which we should kill. I should kill. If you're a little underpowered, you might want to come back for him later. Like, you don't have to do him right now, he's optional. That's the case with most of the optional bosses, is, you can always come back and do him later if you think you're going to struggle with him. This guy we're going to go deal with is mostly physical, so assuming we can reasonably keep the endurance charges up, he's not that threatening. Oh, I think I have all the flies. I was about to say, I'm not sure if I am missing a fly, and I finally read the notification saying I have all of them. I'll pick that up. Oh, I don't have the space for that. Okay, how do I want to handle that? That's a good question. No, I don't really need it. It might be useful later, but I don't need it right now, and I don't have the inventory for it. When he's playing his animation, we can go in here and pick stuff up.
Thus I release you from
Let's bring up that unit. Let's grab that unit. 30% increased damage per endurance charge. Usually don't get hit that much by things that 5% reduction in damage would help with, so I'm not going to bother. Okay. So now we're going to head out of here. I think there's one tile item I need to pick up before we get to the last waypoint. So I've got the inventory space, but I've got no space to pick anything else up interesting. So we're just going to sort of zoom through here. I believe it's in this zone, in the causeway zone. Nope, got the wrong one. So after this causeway zone, we're going to get into probably the zone where a lot of people decently get lost, considering on the orientation of it. You're trying to get to something that's sort of in the top center. I usually don't have that big of a trouble trying to get to it, but I don't necessarily take the quickest route either. There's definitely quicker ways through it than I take. So that exclamation point's what we're looking for, and it's usually next to the exit of the zone. That means we're pretty close to the exit, and there's the exit. So here's the Vault City. We're going to teleport back to town when we find the waypoint next to the exit. Because the waypoint here is next to the exit of the zone and not next to the entrance of the zone. That's the first time I've heard that guy do a voice line since Act 5. And here we are. Actually, it was a pretty efficient path to the center this time. So by talking to her and giving hold of the Firefly, she's opened up the way to get into the next zone. I'm going to go ahead and drop off and pick up the skill points I've picked up along the way. They're not necessarily going to give any more damage, but they will definitely help with making the build here in the long run. So short term, they're not very important, but long term, they'll be nice.
Goodbye.
Oh, we don't want to talk to Alva, not Dunning. Oh, I've got more skill points here. Here's one of them. You're going to want to give me something. Actually, I will take a roll of that armor. The boot probably won't be useful, and I'm not going to deliver that.
Go with courage.
That's just skill point respect, so if I'm not planning on skill point respecting with it, then I don't need it right now. Respecting, yeah. Granted, I say that, and I am probably going to respec shortly. One of the skill points, so.
The spirit hunts with you. Stay. Hello.
Six. Oh, I don't have the int for this. That's easy to fix. I just come over here and say, give me 30 int. That should give me the 80 int to use that. I did not give me the 80 int to use that. How low is the intelligence of this character? It's currently 70. I could use that int, but that's not what I wanted to do. Actually, that might be the int I have to use. Okay. We'll pick that int up then. Well, let's just put that armor on. So we finally have armor. That's a bunch of armor, a bunch of hit points. Cool. We still want to be in the skill tree. I got skill tree stuff I want to do. I suppose with that... Did I grab the... Oh, have I really been running around without that HP buff? Yeah, I think I have. I didn't take the second line there item. I thought I had taken it. the 50% max life if you have no life modifiers on body armor. Because all I had to do was take the point over there. I didn't. And I was just about to try untaking it, so that's good to know. We are block capped. It's not saying we're over block capped. I have one skill point left we're going to use. Do I want to dip in here, or do I want to go for the other shield? Yeah, I think block recovery is going to be a good place to go. So we're going to grab you, and then we're going to check to see if we're overcapped. Yeah, it's not going to tell me if I'm overcapped on the spell block, apparently, because of how I'm getting the spell block. 65 minus 116 is 51. And I'm getting 2% per over? Okay. So I'm going to do something that's going to make all my spell block go away, which is I'm going to take off Glancing Blows. You can see all the spell block went away. But that'll be temporary. So I'm going to be taking a little bit more damage from all the spells for a while. But now, whenever I block something, it's a 100% block instead of a partial block. Because of the improvements in my equipment, I actually have enough HP for the Act 8 boss. May have course corrected earlier in the map, because I had forgot to account for the fact that I had armor coming up that would improve hit points. We'll probably level one more time before the boss, which will probably give us full hit block again, max hit block again for our build. A lot of people like Grog. Usually by the time I remember to make use of him, I don't really have anything... I'm not going to get good stuff out of him, because I need very specific stuff. Though that might partially be the problem of Viking minion builds. Minion builds don't Grog very well, in my experience. I tend to like fighting the monsters in here, but if you don't like spiders, I can imagine this is not your favorite dungeon. Here's the way down to the next floor. Now I'm going to stop to kill that there, because I like the XP. I'd like to level one more time at least before the boss. I can get back full hit block, which will also give me some spell block because I'll overcap. partially feel the XP costs per level going up. Well, I think I'm feeling. It's taking a little bit longer to just randomly level up. Which is most noticeable if you're killing a lot of whites and not a lot of blues and yellows. Made the wrong turn. Made the wrong turn. Good thing on fires is kept. Those exploding orbs don't hit very hard if your fires is capped, apparently. Okay, something there hit hard. Not 100% sure what. Probably whatever it was probably a crit. That would make sense. Whoops. Something hit really hard. And I'm not sure what it was. Which that'll probably mean that I now don't have the XP. Well, without going out of my way, I don't have the XP to level for the boss. And that would have made, I think that just made the difference. My biggest guess, with how quickly that killed me, it was just probably chaos damage of some sort. Something applied a lot of chaos damage on in a blow. I don't have a lot of chaos resist. And by I don't have a lot of chaos resist, I mean I have absolutely zero chaos resist. Which means, even above and beyond that, I have negative chaos resist. I don't think we're doing enough damage to get through that shield, so we're gonna hightail it out of here. Oh yeah, and I can definitely feel that I'm going a lot faster than I was last act, which probably means the damage has definitely picked up. We're on course to finish this act in an hour. Unless I take extra time just specifically to level up. My place on the keys. Oops. Okay, here is the boss, and I got that level up that I didn't think I was actually going to get in the end. And it did overcat me, so I now have 12% spell block. Obviously, probably still need more block in the long run, because I don't think 12% spell block is particularly great, but it's on the route we want to go. And it would have been way overkill from a glancing blows block level. And yeah, this fight isn't going particularly bad. Definitely a good sign that it feels like the damage has come in. So hopefully we can keep the damage growing appropriate with the amount of hit points growing on monsters as we go up the tiers. This is the build without a lot of attack speed, so the attack speed slow is a bit annoying here. But it's not necessarily, other than just making the fight take longer, it's not necessarily making the fight any harder, which is a good place for it to be. There we go. That's the boss of Act 7. I am going to do the transition zone into Act 8 before I stop the recording. Just because this is a kind of a weird place to stop the recording if I'm not going to immediately continue the next one. So, use damage taken over time, or we'll probably still stick with that one for the moment. So we automatically given this waypoint, but we really want to get into the town. Level 57 and a 55 area. So we wouldn't be concerned if we level. We don't need to level. Especially if the damage is feeling good. I'm going to take the moment to kill any magics we come across, because they die usually reasonably quickly. I think 58 is where we're going to get some more equipment to put on. So I think early into next act, so early into the next video, we'll have more equipment to put on, which may help to increase damage. isn't much to say, other than we're just sort of flying through the zone. When enemies sort of look like they're getting in the way, or can just sort of be, a lot of them can be hit with an AoE, just to make it efficient. Then I'm taking swings at them, otherwise I'm just running past most of the stuff. Okay, so we've made it to Act 4. Or not, made it to Act 8. So obviously there's going to be a couple more parts here. We got Acts 8, 9, 10. Going to do a little bit of maps after Act 10. Just to show how this thing's still working in maps. I have a lot of maps, so we can skip around in maps and see how quickly we can go up the maps. And then I'll probably do a sort of an after-action report to discuss how well it's been, and maybe give some suggestions on what not to do, more than what to do. And I think what I was thinking, oh, if I had more decks, I could throw this helmet on. So we might be next passive point we get, we might throw this hat on. You're 64, you're 58, so we level once, you'll throw you on. That'll replace that. Is it damage I'm getting per 70? Where was the shield one I'm thinking of? 2% damage, yeah, so that's going to actually be a lot of damage. So next level is going to be a lot of damage by upgrading that shield. We're going to ring on 64, potentially throw that ring on at 65, if I haven't re-rolled the iron ring to make it better. So this is where I'll leave off. Obviously, I'll probably have another video up the following day after this, assuming everything goes according to plan. I hope everything's going well. Have a good night.